What's up everybody and welcome back to another show. So growing up in the 90s, you were either a Nickelodeon kid or a Cartoon Network kid. While Nick had the Nicktoons, Cartoon Network was that weird experimental playground that changed the DNA of animation. And today we're going to be looking at the best 5 Cartoon Network originals from the decade that started it all. We're not just talking about how they started, we're talking about why these shows are actually great and why they still hold up today. But before we get into the video, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like this kind of content. Now let's get into the video. So coming in at number 5 is Ed, Edd n Eddy. Premiering in 1999, this show became one of the longest running original series in the network's history. We all know the setup. 3 kids with the same name stuck in a cul-de-sac, scamming their peers for giant jawbreakers. But why was this show great? Well, it wasn't just the smart one or the dumb one and the leader. It was the visual style. The creator of the show, Danny Antonucci, forgive me if I butchered that name, he created an animation style that made the world feel alive and chaotic. It captured the feeling of being a kid in an endless summer, right? Slightly grimy, bored but creative energy. It was relatable because we all knew a Kevin or a Sarah. The show didn't need a massive world, it just needed a neighborhood and the chemistry between 3 outcasts. It's definitely a classic and it's a masterclass in character-driven comedy until this day. Next up is Johnny Bravo. This show is a fascinating time capsule. It follows a pretty muscular guy whose only goal in life is to get a date, and he fails, usually violently, every single time. What made Johnny Bravo great was its cross-generational appeal. It was packed with veiled adult humor and pop culture references that kids didn't get, but their parents definitely did. It also served as the secret training grounds for future legends. Did you know that Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, and Butch Hartman, the Fairly OddParents, were writers on this show? You can see the DNA in the fast-paced, absurd humor. Johnny himself is an icon, an arrogant guy who's actually harmless and surprisingly wholesome when it comes to his mom. It has that classic cartoon aesthetic mix with 90s attitude, and it's definitely a pop culture reference till this day. Coming in at number 3, we have the Powerpuff Girls. Now don't get me wrong, the Powerpuff Girls definitely deserves a spot on this list. This was a pretty difficult list to create, but everybody knows Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. They were a cultural phenomenon. Now this TV show started as a short on What a Cartoon, and it exploded into a theatrical movie and a global brand. Everybody knows who these 3 are. So why is it a masterpiece? Well, it's a masterpiece because it refused to pander. It could have been just a cutesy girls show for little girls, but instead, it was a high-octane action show with some of the best fighting cinematography in animation today. It balanced the sugar and spice with genuine stakes, and we have to talk about the villains. Everybody knows Mojo Jojo, he's iconic, but him, I don't even know really what him is until this day. I don't know if it's the devil, I don't know if it's something else, but him was a complete nightmare. That high-pitched voice and supernatural dread that he brought to Townsville made the show feel dangerous, and it still kind of freaks me out to this day. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. It proved that you can have pink, wide-eyed protagonists who were absolutely badasses till this day. Now coming in at the number 2 spot was very difficult. I wanted to put this in the number 1 spot, but I don't know. We're gonna put it at number 2. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think about it. But number 2 is Dexter's Lab. Now this show, this is what defined the cartoon era for a lot of people. A boy genius with a secret lab, a meddling sister named Dee Dee, and a rival named Mandark. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. Dexter worked because it was clever. Gennady Treftovsky, who later gave us Samurai Jack, used sharp, geometric character designs and cinematic pacing that was ahead of its time. The dynamic between Dexter's cold logic and Dee Dee's chaotic energy is one of the best sibling rivalries in fiction. Plus, the backup segments like Dial M for Monkey and the Justice Friends made the show feel like a whole universe. It taught kids that being smart was cool, but being too arrogant would probably lead to something blowing up in your face. It was funny, it was fast, and it was brilliantly animated, and it holds a soft spot in my heart till this day. So coming in at number 1 is the masterpiece. Like I said, it was very difficult to put this one between number 2 and number 1, but we have to put up Courage the Cowardly Dog for number 1. Launching in the late 1990s, 1999 to be exact, this show took the foundation laid by the Oscar-nominated short, The Chicken from Outer Space, and turned it into a surreal horror masterpiece on Cartoon Network. But why is this one the best? Well, because it shouldn't have been made for kids. John R. Dilworth created a show that dealt with isolation, trauma, and cosmic horror, all centered around a pink dog in the middle of nowhere. It was great because it used mixed media. One minute you're looking at a 2D animation and the next you're seeing a super realistic CGI ghost like the King's Ramsay episode or claymation creature. It subverted our expectations of what a cartoon should look like. That's what makes it great. It was terrifying, yes, but it was also deeply emotional. Courage's love for Muriel gave the show its heart, proving that bravery isn't about the absence of fear, it's being terrified and doing it anyway. It's the most creative, haunting, and unique show Cartoon Network has ever produced. Now before we wrap it up, we have to give a shout out to What a Cartoon itself. Without this showcase, we wouldn't have Courage, Dexter, or even shows like Family Guy. It was the laboratory for creators to take risks without executive interference. Now we also have to give a shout out to Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel. Now these are some shows that were really ugly and that were really weird at the same time also, but those are the shows that could have only existed in the 90s. We couldn't do something like that today. They represent the risk-taking spirit that made Cartoon Network the king of the decade. Now the 90s was the transition period where animation went from being just for kids to being legitimate art for everyone. Cartoon Network was the forefront of that movement. Whether it was Dexter's Gadgets or Courage's Nightmares, these shows stay with us because they had a soul. But I want to hear from you. Which 90s Cartoon Network show was your favorite? Did the King Ramses episode on Courage give you lifelong trauma? Did that shit fuck you up? Because it still messes with me today. Let me know in the comments. I also want to know what your top 5 list would be. But don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.